Hi, folks. My name is the School of Creation, creating now. I'm Theodore Cottingham, inviting you to join me in a quest to come out of all that we have known and no longer be limited by our two eyes, our two ears, and what we have been programmed to do, to think, to behave as, to limit each other as. I'm inviting you to come out of the box and no longer be entangled, enmeshed in quandaries of surrogate conundrums to create more conundrums of the surrogacy of the mind. For we are no longer birthing the mind as it was. And as it is, shall no more contain us. Because I am, we are, going to a new place. Not designed by man, but by unconditional love. And this is a school. And I am a teacher. And I teach from the heart of me. My heart of love, unconditional love, the heart of my consciousness. What I become aware of. And not just aware of, but more than aware, I become conscious of my creation. My creation? I become conscious that I'm a creator. Lo and behold, I didn't know that. I thought some other divine entity made me originally. But I came through my parents, mom and dad. Oh my gosh. Okay. But so often we are taught what to think instead of how to think. And even if we're taught how to think, we're taught what we should be thinking in our how to think. And we reproduce the thoughts that have been given to us. And we limit ourselves to that information, not thinking, not realizing, not even being open to the fact that we are a creator. And you, my friend, are a creator. Whether you're gay, straight, man, woman, black, blue, red, yellow, with pink hair covered with tattoos on death row, or whether you're some self-appointed righteous espousing righteousness on some stage with your PhD, your robe, and your ring. You see, we are creators, and we haven't been taught this. We've been taught so often the scientific method. We've been educated by scholars that school us in their words of how they were schooled. But the school of how we have been schooled is coming to an end. I'm in school. I invite you to be in school. I invite you to be in school with me, if you choose to, but the school I create, the school I'm in, the school I'm inviting you to is very costly. More costly than gold. You are more than a bunch of neurons. And your perceptibility, your ability to perceive reality, your ability to perceive a reality that is transcendent of what we normally see, think, feel, and operate in each day. Your ability is dormant. Has it been dormant? Have you been asleep? Are you mesmerized? Are you dead and don't know it? Are you the walking dead? Trying to enjoy religion? Trying to procreate? Appease a God? Please God? Worship to study? Have faith? Show yourself a workman? A workman? Workman that needs not to be ashamed? Ashamed of what? We have been so ignorant of our mind. We've been ignorant of who we are. And the teachers of schools are so ignorant. And so many are intentionally apathetic, arrogant, and they pass on their arrogance to their students. And maybe you've learned to be a critical thinker, and you participate, you know what it is. Critical thinking. If you don't know what critical thinking is as a term, I suggest you look it up. This is school. I don't need to tell you everything. I'm not holding your hand. It's time you learn to cross the street yourself. You can see where the car is coming. You look right and left, etc., etc. Well, my friend, it's time we cross the cosmos. It's time we cross the void. It's time we come out of the phone booth. I mean, the sandbox. I mean, what are we coming out of? The limitations that we have imposed upon each other and how we have limited each other and how we decline to accept responsibility for who we are in the creation of us, wanting to abdicate our responsibility, saying, I can't do that. Well, just because you're ignorant and you can't do it doesn't mean you can't do it, or you can't do it, or you just don't know how. You don't know how to walk on water? Well, my friend, it's time to learn. You don't know how to feed the 5,000? You don't know the words in red from the words that constitute an institution to keep you incarcerated in it, that so many people worship more than the words in red, call the words of Paul or whatever. There's a lot of truth in a lot of ancient writings. But nothing like the truth that actually resides in you. Reside. Reside? Is it living? Is truth alive? Isn't it worthwhile to explore these things? I'm asking you. You see, this is the school of creation. I'm asking you not just to participate, to have the knowledge of, and even become an expert in critical thinking. I'm inviting you to come into creative thinking and no longer be satisfied with the shallow definitions that have been given you, that have existed maybe for thousands of years, that people write about, and vomit all over each other with the same stuff, same definitions, thinking if they study enough year after year after year after year, they'll achieve something, they'll please God. Being a spectator is not one of my goals. My goals for you or anybody in the school. But you see, I don't set your goals. You set your goals. And you can no longer abdicate your responsibility to think, feel, become, see the unknowable. The unknowable. Are you willing to create? Not just discover a widget on the ground that you go and market and make $1 million from. What are you willing to know? What are you willing to do? What kind of school are you willing to go to learn from, or to participate in? Are you willing to be a student, staff, and a teacher all at the same time? You say, how can that work? If all you're willing to do is say, well, I don't know how that can work, I think that's unworkable. Then you don't fit here. Unless you change, unless you begin to invite change, unless you begin willing to change, unless you begin to see more than you have seen in the past, coming out of religion, coming out of the educational standards that limit you to the visible empirical, limit you to the scientific method, limit you to rhetorical criticism, limit you to a school with certain courses that you are forced to go through whether you want to or not. I've been channeling for 20 years. You initiate now. I'm learning in my school, and I will teach. I will teach you, the learner, if you will no longer consider yourself only a learner of somebody else's words, but you become a teacher. I'm interested in teachers. I'm interested in learners. I'm interested in leaders. Leaders who are no more led to sit in a pew, sit there week after week after week, then critiquing the sermon on the way home, going to get some fried chicken, watch the ball game, take a nap. Wish it were the weekend again before the work week even starts. I know. Been there. But that's not where I'm at. I'm raising leaders. My name is Theodore Cottingham. And I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. The gospel? Oh, traditional Christianity? Well, I'm certainly not ashamed of it. I imbibed it. I was immersed in it. I taught it for years. But I came out because I learned there was more. I learned the difference between God and love. I learned the difference. And I've taught it for weeks now. If you want to find it, you can go find it. It's time to grow up. This is school. This is not an entertainment series. I'm not an entertainment channel. I'm asking you to learn to channel truth so that you begin to see the power of your word, the capacity of your love in action, no longer limited to a man, a department, an accreditation committee. I'm asking you to get a new vision today, no matter how many hours you have listened to my teaching. And I know some of you have listened over 100 hours, hundreds of hours. A few of you, and a few of you have sent me notes. Thank you. Started to say I could count them on one hand, but maybe two. Thank you. I'm asking you to get a new vision of who you are, of who I am. Really? Of who you are, of what this school is and how it operates. If you're going to listen to me, I'm asking you to participate. I'm asking you to learn with me as an active participant, no longer a silent partner. Let me tell you, if you're in school, it costs you. You don't get a degree. You don't master a genre, a vocation. You don't master it. You don't become good, really good, really good without a lot of time, effort, energy, and money. There is money to be spent. There are resources to be acquired, whether it's notebooks, whether it's software, whether it's a new computer, no matter what it is. There's an effort involved in knowing who you are. And it's not easy. If you want easy street, this is not the place. If you want everything pre-digested for you in nice little formats, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is this. Now, this is what it looks like. Be careful of false teachers and this, that, and the other. And here's the second module. And when you're done, click done. Go to the next module. Read the text. Here are the questions. If you want that, you'll be disappointed here. I'm asking you to learn with me, to learn how to learn a new learning system. Just like I'm learning AI, whatever you want to call it. It's here to stay until it's preempted by something else, I guess. But I think it's a terrific, monumental capability that we now have access to. Common people like you and me. So many websites offering access to their AI platform on a very limited basis, free. All the images that I've been producing now for 6 or 8 months or whatever, I'm using ChatGPT 4.0. I like it. I'm amazed at it. It's certainly not perfect, and it certainly has its capricious whims. And sometimes, like a stubborn child, it says it's doing one thing and it's not. But I don't write it off. It's a terrific tool. Not only have I created all these images, increasingly, I'm interacting with it textually. And it's a valuable tool for me and many others. And it has, of course, great capability that I'm not utilizing. all sorts of math, programming, etc. But that's not the point. The point, it's a tool. If you need a crescent wrench, it's hard to be effective if all you have is a screwdriver, if all you have is a hammer. And it seems like schools, institutions, corporations, really, they all act like they're a hammer, and they want you to be malleable according to their job description for you. And they want to limit you. I suggest to you schools, corporations, business, intentionally limit you. They limit you all the time. That's why so many are so envious of people in their own business or that have the freedom, financial freedom, instead of going to a cubicle every day and doing what they are told to do. When you have so much capability, so much capacity, you have so much, you have unlimited creativity. You created you. There are so many lies that we have been told with scienter. What is scienter? Write it down. Do you not know? This is school. This is school. Do you have a notebook and a pen? I hope so. And you can write me. If I'm your teacher for an hour, 10 minutes, or a year. I'm inviting you to recreate you and learn a new learning system. I'm asking you to begin to see I'm not normal. I don't choose to be normal. I came out of normal. And I'm going to be increasingly not normal because I choose to be normal. Of course, your mind immediately, instantaneously thinks you know what I mean by normal. But you do realize, of course, normal has a definition. Is normal the 80% that's under a bell curve? A normal distribution? Well, it's how you interpret it. You can look up and see what your definition of normal is. If you're not willing to look up definitions, if you're not willing to look up, if you're not willing to research, if you're not willing to search, seek, and find, you can advance at your own pace. And I won't take that privilege from you. But you see, whoever's serious about learning with me, I didn't say from, I said with, because I'm learning. Even these last few days, a leap I've made. And I realized this morning, it's my desire for you also. To no longer just sit on a pew, to no longer pray the prayers in a prayer book, no longer be limited to the Nicene Creed or the Ten Commandments, an ancient Jesus or God or anything else. You see, truth, my friend, is not delicate. Truth. Truth invites, if anything, truth invites examination. Challenge. Truth has no fear of it being discovered. Are you kidding? Truth having fear? There's no fear in perfect love. Is perfect love perfect truth? Is it a valid question? What is valid to you? You see, up to now, you've interpreted life a certain way. You have certain rules, values, protocols. You've lived life according to what you see. But what if there's a whole lot going on that you haven't seen? What if our perception unit, our brain, our mind, our two eyes, two ears, limit our capability more than they give us? That may be a stretch, but consider it. What if these eyes limit us more than they give us sight? We think they give us sight, and they give us. It's a part of the apparatus to comprehend visually something. We think we're in a universe. We think we're on Earth, limited to ions, protons, neutrons, positive charge, negative charge. Are you really subject to all that magnetism? Magnetic forces? So several times recently I've touched on the idea of, and I've used the term shallow thinking. I'm inviting you, I ask you to begin thinking about your thought in a different way. I invite you to think about your personal thinking in a more eclectic way, in a more diverse way. A more powerful way. Where you begin to see things you've never seen, even in the words between the lines, between the words. I'm asking you to empower your mind to come alive. You think it's alive. You think it's conscious. Is there a part of your mind that is unconscious? Is that your subconscious? Do you communicate with your subconscious? What are you willing to know about your subconscious that's been submerged? Underwater? Under blood? Under what? Layers of magnetism? Eons of shame? Belligerence? Brute force? What are you willing to know? What are you willing to do? This is school. So in this school, let's be clear. What is the objective? What is the goal of the school of creation? Write your answer for you. Write it out longhand or type it. Dictate it. And whatever, some variation, I suggest to you the school of creation is for you to learn to create? No. I guess we have to define it, don't we? I'm not interested in leading leaders to lead people to be under them, just like I'm not asking you to learn to be a creator, to simply create a widget to make $1 million. No, this is the school where you learn to recreate you. You come into your creation and you enter the mind, the capacity, the ability, the love of you for you, and begin to see the realm of capability, possibility, potential, no longer limited by another man, a patriarchy, a patriarchal religion, patriarchy. You misogynists have a lot to learn. And if you don't know what that term is, look it up. You have to? Well, that's kind of a strong proclamation. I hope you want to expand your vocabulary and not be afraid of learning a greater vocabulary. Maybe you'll become a sesquipedalian. If you don't know what that means, look it up. Look it up. This is school. I'm not giving you regurgitated information to dumb you down, to try to give you all the answers. This is where you create school. You create a school in the school that you are in. The faculty, staff, and student become one. The teacher is me? No, the teacher is you. The teacher is me, in a process where you begin to learn from you, through your own word that you type, that you write on yellow tablet, and you type. And you send out, you send out to an email list too? By George. Jolly good. If you're not willing to do things you have never done, you could be really afraid of me, because I'm leading and I'm not silent, and I will lead people to lead. And I openly acknowledge the basis of my learning, my foundation. You can learn a lot about me if you want to know about me, a flesh man. I wrote a book and self-published a book in the year 2000. 143 pages. It's no longer in print, but you can probably find one if you want to. It's called God in Business. What I wrote doesn't fit the name of the book, but I was in business and I didn't want to preach. I didn't want to be a preacher. I wanted to be a businessman. So I call it God in Business, but I wrote some of my early story and how I began to deal with love and how love began to teach me, how I began to change in my prayers and how I began to pray. And I've spoken about my path a number of times. For you, to see you're not alone. Probably the most quoted sentence that I quote for a long time has been John 14:12. If you believe in me, you will do what I do, and greater. You'll do all the works I do. A shallow response is, well, that means, and you give the orthodox interpretation of it, which completely emasculates the meaning. It renders you powerless and says, he did all these things. And there'll be some commentarian who will espouse some kind of answer. Oh, what that means is such and such. I am asking you to find out what John 14:12 means to you, not from somebody else. Where you go in, you begin to look at that sentence. What the hell does this mean? How? Why am I? How could we do these things? How could we become the ones on the earth? On the earth? Us? We? Plural? Was that the intent? Was that the intent? For you to learn to do all the things Jesus did? I want you to get a picture of you doing the works that Jesus did. But you don't need to wear a robe and sandals. You don't need to go to the Mideast. It's not about the Mideast. This school is about the Creator, creating again the new you, no longer sitting in a pew, being told to recite a sinner's prayer. This is another, I was trying to get chat to make a picture of common people doing all the miracles that Jesus did. So, here's another one. Oh, by the way. So I've begun, instead of printing all of these, I show you my laptop. I mean my tablet here. And my tablet reflects the light. So you can see the blinds here and the window and my little ring light. So multiple times I've noticed it and tried to account for it and minimize that reflection. And then a day or two ago, I thought, I just had a thought, right? I just had a thought. I wonder if there's an anti-glare, a non-glare I could put on my tablet that would knock out that reflection, and I could use my tablet more. You see, I wear glasses, and the reason I wear these glasses that I really don't see well through anymore, but the reason I wear them is they are non-glare. They're non-reflective. And that's why so often, so many times in the past, I'm changing my glasses when the recording starts because I forgot to change my glasses beforehand. Well, I found, lo and behold, I became aware. Several different manufacturers manufacture non-reflective matte covers for tablets. So I ordered one. So maybe this will work so that I won't have this in a few days. The joy of beginning to recognize the revelation of you and your power. I'm inviting you to see a new view of your ability. not what you're called to do by someone else or another entity, but what are you willing to do? Are you willing to see the words in red? Are you willing to have a greater consciousness, an expanded awareness, a greater vocabulary? You're no longer stuck in the ruts of the past. What will you teach? You see, I love visualizing some of these things, at least to the extent that I can. What a terrific tool this is. If I drew this, I can draw a stick man and a smiley face. I could draw this on paper, but you wouldn't know what it is. My little hen scratch. I tell you what's coming. I tell you why meology. Meology is the name, the overarching name of what I teach. And meology is going to replace Christology. Christology is all about the man, centered on the worship, you worshiping Jesus, worshiping God, sitting in a pew. You're a created being. And they've made all these rules. But I tell you, we're coming out the box. We're coming out of religion. Not just me. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about millions. Now, beginning to see the light, to be the light. Not just walking in the light for your own edification, for your own consciousness, but for you to recreate you. Because this is how creation is created. The model of the man upstairs, issuing an edict, let there be light, and creating people on earth, bang, bang, bang. Is going away. And instead of a central figure that so many people have keyed in on, accepting Jesus, praying to Jesus, bowing, trying to appease, well, millions are going to become what he became. As Jesus prayed in John 17, that we all may be one. One what? One, what kind? One what? Isn't that a valid question? Have you ever read John 17? Have you spent hours in John 17? Are you willing to? Are you willing to spend hours outlining this lesson? Are you willing to outline every lesson? One person wrote in a comment to one of my teachings, where do you get your information? Mostly inside of me. And what comes? Just like this morning, thinking about the difference between rhetorical criticism critical thinking versus creative thinking came to me this morning. There's a way we create together, you see. I'm asking you to come out of the reality that has been given to us. Now, I really like this picture I'm showing you. And there's multiple ways you see you can interpret it. Looks like everybody has on these augmented reality glasses. I'm not interested in augmented reality that depends on magnetism or a projector or a company or a widget. I'm interested in being the real me. We've all eaten a lot of pig slop. But we don't need to anymore. We're waking up. We're becoming conscious. A conscious mind, a conscious awareness, a greater consciousness. Aware, conscious that we're no more fools for religion or the limited stories, nor even what we see as reality. We're beginning to learn about the quantum world, quantum physics. We're learning that all of our minds are not isolated from each other unless we want to be. So when you look at the picture I'm showing now, the people in what I'll call the audience, like in a theater, are they projecting onto the screen, or is the screen showing them, projecting it back to them? It's a valid question. Is it not mutually exclusive? May not be. Are you creating what you see, or is what you see creating you to be in it, limited to it? What is creating? I'm asking you, inviting you to be in the school of creation. What's the goal? For you to graduate. How do you graduate? Well, let's just get right down to the bottom line. If you graduate in the school of creation, you complete the new creation of you, so that you are no longer limited to your present creation, so that you are no longer limited to your present consciousness, nor your present physical body, nor the physical limitations that this world tries so hard to keep up and convey that you're limited to, and that you should serve someone else. You see why I so often mention the value of movies, The Matrix. What was the goal of Morpheus? To find the chosen one. He decided he found the chosen one. And of course, the chosen one didn't know he was chosen and resisted being the chosen one, but finally acquiesced and began to learn. He became the chosen one. I'm asking you to become the chosen one. The Jesus story is not about Jesus. How can that be? It's an allegory. The Jesus story is about you. But born of a virgin? The word is the seed. What word? The original word. What original word? The word that comes through you, through your own mouth, that you nurture. A feminine nurturing. To suckle, to mature, to grow, to release out of you, and to release you from, so that you, your body, your consciousness becomes the womb of God, the womb of new creation, whether you call it God or not. You no longer suffocated in a magnetic sphere of a body of energy, your physical body. So this is the goal of the school of creation. Is it a lofty goal? No. You see, this is why I talk like I do and I teach like I do. In my second book that I've written, Jesus the Pattern, not Jesus the Redeemer, not Jesus the soon coming King. The invitation for you to be Jesus in your shoes, with your hair, your face, whether you wear earrings, tons of lipstick, makeup, or you wear none. It's not about the physical appearance. It's not about the words you speak. It's about your motive, your love, and what you choose to be. It's what you choose to comply with. It's what you choose to come out of. Coming out of many a relationship and a friendship, many friendships that are abusive. Many religious relationships are total abuse. Mind control, gaslighting, because religion by its very nature is narcissistic. It operates on the MO of gaslighting from the pulpit. People want to tell you. They want to give you their reality and limit you to their reality. But my friend, we're coming out. I'm asking you to no longer shy away from your position, your power, your capacity to recreate you as a new human being, as a being that looks like you, that is no more limited by you. No more limited to your mind. No more limited to your awareness. But connecting. Connecting with what? The God mind? Well, we have to define what God is. Define what the mind is. The consciousness, the awareness, the energy of procreation, of light, not of flesh. The flesh has ruled us. The flesh has dominated us. The flesh has given us what appears to be a molecular world. a magnetic world, 3 dimensions, but there's more to the story. There's so much more to the story. You create your way out of it by growing, not the word of the Lord, but coming out of it, coming out of the world of religion, no longer needing faith. I ask you to surrender, to become who you really are. Does that mean your subconscious will come alive? Maybe. What do you know about the subconscious? I'm exploring it. I'll teach more on it. But by golly, I'm not the only teacher in this school, am I? Are you a teacher in this school? I invite you to be a teacher in this school. Begin with teaching you. And teach me too. I'm not above learning from you. I desire to learn from you. We are connecting this way at the moment. But we are not limited to this moment or this way of communication. And in fact, even now, you have my email address. I have a contact page on my website. You can contact me. My website is theodorcottingham.com. I live in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, a little tourist town of about 2,000. Built, began in the 1880s. Tons of Victorian architecture. A lot of tourists. I'm inviting your mind to come alive. Inviting you, asking you to cultivate your curiosity. I'm asking you to not be afraid of technology. So many people aren't now, but some still are. I know people that don't even want to use a smartphone for all sorts of reasons. The complexity of it for some. So this is my website showing on my tablet this day. TheodoreCottingham.com. Why am I showing you this? I'm going to walk through it a moment. Not only do I have over 2,000 posts that you can search, posts where most of the posts are short, little explanations of things that address certain little issues. And a lot of posts have the full transcription of a given lesson that I taught that day. But see, religion is not going to control the Jesus story now. It's been manicured, manipulated. But the limitations will no more limit us. So I actually sometimes change the heading of my homepage website several times a day. And what I'm thinking, changing the wording, sometimes changing it entirely. But on my website, you can see I have a little paragraph and an AI picture of me at my desk. I offer Jesus the pattern book for your purchase. There's 8 postings. You can click on any of them. And that's my front page of my website. But what is the main reason I come? The main reason I come at this moment like this to show you this. Right here, the Meonics Covenant. If I click on the Meonics Covenant, it redirects you to a website where you can search the Meonics Covenant, the first 2,400 lessons that I channeled. So I mentioned this morning the idea. You see, I'm really desirous of communicating with you how I learn, inviting you to learn with me, with other people, and begin to communicate what we're learning with each other to construct a completely different paradigm of education, one that is not limited to critical thinking, one that is not limited to the visible empirical, one that is not limited to the scientific method. And so what did I do this morning when I thought about the subconscious? I haven't spent a lot of time thinking, pondering, dealing with the subconscious mind. I've talked about me, and I've talked about the real me, the you and the real you. And I've distinguished it, I've contrasted it, I've talked about it. Okay, this morning, the subconscious. So as I ponder, what did I do? I go to the Meonics Covenant, the first 2,400 lessons, and I search on the word subconscious. So I came here, and here's the little, and I put in subconscious. And I touch search. And out of that 2,400, apparently, there's only 3 files. There's only 3 lessons. There are only 3 messages that use the word subconscious. But you see, along with that hyperlink to that document, there's a little sentence pulled from that lesson showing you how that search term was used in that lesson. So these 3, 1.5.80, 1.5.80, Database 1, Volume 5, Lesson 80. If you're in this school, you know what that means. If you want to be in this school, you learn what that means. You learn how to reference. You learn how to search. Seek and you shall find. It takes time, effort, energy, devotion, dedication. 1.5.80, that's how you reference it. So we can all, out of that 10,000 pages, we're not going to a chapter and a verse with a book named by the author. We're going to 1.5.80. What does it say? How is subconscious used? ... Darkness attaching itself unto you. Your mind's ears not, comprehension not, subconsciousness. And what snubbed who? The suffering. Is it not? So in the Meonics Covenant, you will find the diction and grammar change many times. There are new words created, new portmanteaus, many things redefined. Don't write it off just because you don't know how. If one lesson seems completely discombobulated, a bunch of word salad, go to the next one. It's a process. I said 3 results. The second one, 1, 6, 178. 1.6.178. Kings got messed up with and found a subconscious mind instilled. You can click on the hyperlink and read the paragraph. You can read the whole lesson. The third one is 1.6.181. ... Knowing it, I have one mind, and only one mind. No subconscious level units for me. I have one. Seems pretty clear. How do I get my information? I channel it. I come to database one. Database one that has 7 volumes. And I look it up and I ponder. I ponder. And I don't think shallow about it. I ponder. I link. This is all a process of lessonating. You say, what is that? I invite you to search and find out. Search where? This is not Google. This is not the internet. This is database one of things I have channeled. How many databases are there? I don't know, 20? For so long, I had the time, effort, I had the energy. I would record, I would write, I would go transcribe it myself. Early on, a friend came to me, Barbara Burdett, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She said, Ted, if you want me to help you, I'll transcribe all of your teachings. I'll transcribe them for 1 year. Free. But just 1 year. Don't ask me to do a second year. But I'm offering you 1 year. And I said, thank you, Barbara, I accept. And she did. Back then, see, I'm an old guy. I recorded all those on a little micro cassette. So I would take the micro cassette by after I recorded, give it to her. And the next day, she would give me the typed pages. And I'd give her the next tape. And 1 year to the day, she said, I'm done. Okay. But except for that, I did all the transcription. But I tried to use Dragon Dictate. I sure wish I had never even heard of it. The hours I invested in trying to get it to transcribe my words. Oh, it would transcribe, but there were so many mistakes. Anyway. Technology's come a long way, we say, since then. Yep. But so has our mind. So is our revelation. Have we evolved? Or have we matured? Are we willing to mature rather than just evolve? Do you want to patch up the old? Do you want to evolve as humanity, just being more and more brutal with each other? More and more advanced technology? Or do you want to create a new heaven and a new earth? A new heaven and a new earth. That's the opportunity before you this day. What am I interested in? Developing leadership, so you will be led no more by the people who want to save your soul, keep you here, tell you to be silent in the church, sit there and do what you've always done and expect a different result. I'm asking you to lead, to come out of your closet, woman, women, and let no patriarchy destroy your leadership or give you guardrails to live your life with. I abolish patriarchy on this earth. And who am I? I am all who will be me. I mean, all who will be my consciousness, conscious. Aware of what I know, aware of what I understand, aware of what I become, aware that you become what does all the things Jesus did and more. A new creation. So you see, I have redefined over and over and over hundreds of times what a new creation is. A new creation is a graduate, one who resurrects. Not the Jesus resurrection from the dead, but yours, where you begin to call you forth, and your name is Jesus, and your name is Lazarus, and you're both the same one. Not limited to your antique subconscious mind or your conscious mind. Not limited to the physical framework of this world or the physical framework of your consciousness, either one. So this school is not normal, and neither am I. And I don't choose to be. I come out. Am I gay or am I straight? Are you Jesus or are you separate? Or what matters? Who do you love? Who do you say that I am? Tell me who I am, and I will tell you who you are. You can find those sentences right out of Database 1. Did I channel them? Was it the function of my cognitive memory? Or is it out of my love for you? That I connect, that I link, that I map, that I spent thousands of hours channeling, typing, posting, keeping on the web for 20 years. There's a way to learn. A new learning system. And its foundation is love. And I ask you to find it. I ask you to be in it. I ask you to channel it. I ask you to teach it. I ask you to blog. I ask you to write. I ask you to channel. I ask you to begin to do things you've never done, like start a share group, a book club, a group to discuss these lessons, whether online or in your home? Only you can answer that. My friend, it's not what you feel called to do. It's what you no longer reject your capacity to create. Thank you for sharing in this lesson. Please begin to initiate. Do something you've never done, and don't predicate your next step on the expectation of what your first step looks like. Maybe your first step is to write me a letter. Box 34 at Eureka Springs. Snail mail. Inconvenient. Annoying. You have to get a stamp. You have to write. You can email me. You can go to my website. But see, if you do that, you're likely to have some expectation of a response or something from me. So you took step one. What's step two? Don't wait on me to respond. I'm not your guide for long at all, because this is about you. I'm not seeking followers. I'm not trying to amass students. I've never had enough income over these 21 years to cover my expenses. Never. So I'm not in it for the money. If you enter this school, you become what I am. You become who Jesus was. You become a new creation. And you excel both. You're not limited to the things that Jesus did. Your potential is and more. Love each other. Let not your heart be troubled for all the politics, the brutality, the wars, the famine. But be not ignorant about it either. Begin to think globally. Why do I say that? It's a part of my foundation in the Meonics covenant. Think globally, pray globally, communicate globally. You want to be in a class? Maybe it's in Eureka. Maybe it's in your city. Maybe it's in your home. Maybe it's on Zoom. I am not limited to me. I am freeing the mind. I'm Morpheus. Are you Neo? Are you willing to have fun and create? I hope so. Share this lesson. Record me. You watch me, record me. Make your own recording. Digitize it. Replay it. Share it with a share group, a couple of friends. Do something you've never done today. Take a chance. There's risk. There could be a lion in the street. There could be a fiery furnace. But my friend, I don't think you'll see it. And if you learn, its feelings will not dig into your brain anymore. So you will no longer be magnetized by the chakra soul system. There's more to the story. I see you as a lover, if you will be it. I see you with infinite, unlimited capacity, if you will not just embrace the idea, but you will come into a learning system to free your channeling system and become a channel, become a teacher, where you learn with those you teach, and you teach those who learn from you, and you enter a paradigm of capacity building, empowerment for common people to create creation all over again. Now you know about this school. Thank you for being a part. I love you. Love, love. Theodore Cottingham with the School of Creation. TheodoreCottingham.com. And yes, I am thankful for you. See you, love. Good day.